Waking up with no real estate leads? Try this. Finding motivated sellers in your real estate company is key to producing monthly income in your business, whether it's through wholesaling, flipping, or getting passive income through rental properties. In a recent video, I talked about my frustration with wholesale real estate, and I talked about my ups and my downs and the different things I'm doing to overcome my challenges in my real estate business. And also in that video, I told you all to share your concerns in your real estate business. And one of your concerns that I saw was that you needed help with getting seller leads. And so in today's video, I'm going to talk about the different adjustments I recently made in my company in order to get an increase of seller leads in my business, and different ways that you can use in order to do the same to get more real estate leads, whatever facet of real estate you're doing. Now, before we go on, all I ask is that you all subscribe to this channel. A lot of you all watch my channel but are not subscribed, so make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. So the first thing I would do if I wake up with no real estate leads, which has happened to me before in the past in my real estate business, is to hire a cold caller. Now, I know a lot of you all are beginners and you may not have the money to do that. Well, you can cold call, but hiring a cold call is not as expensive as you think, because of course you can find some good quality cold callers overseas that doesn't charge as much as American cold callers. I recently made a video about how to hire cold callers on my video, and I talked about how I use different websites like Fiverr.com, Upwork.com, and other websites that you can find good quality virtual assistants overseas that are less expensive than domestic virtual assistants here in the United States. And the good thing is that I found a great caller that has an American accent. He lived here for a couple of years in New Jersey area. Now he lives back home overseas, and he has a great American accent. He's very personable, great to talk to over the phone, and he's already familiar with real estate investing because he actually worked at a real estate investing company making calls for real estate investors. And so I was able to hire him and just have him sign up with my phone dollar and start making calls because he already had a script very similar to mine, so he was able to start cold calling. So that's the first thing I would do, is to hire a cold caller to do a very important task in your business that you can do also, right? You guys can both do it, or you can do it, but cold calling is number one. The number two thing I would do in my real estate business to increase my lead flow is to have my caller, have myself call a specific niche list. So right now I have my cold caller calling a driving for dollars list. So there was about 1,100 people on my driving for dollars list, and I recommend you all find a nice list of about that size, about 1,000 to 1,500, so your caller can just call that list. And I recommend that your caller calls this list about 2 to 3 times. I had my caller call because you want to make sure you are able to get an answer from every contact from that niche specific list, because usually there's more motivation in these niche specific lists. For example, we came across a lead. I was just looking at the history, the call history of a specific lead, and we called this seller 3 times. They finally answered on the 3rd time, and this was a motivated seller, right? If I just called this list once and just moved on to a next list, we would have missed this particular contact. So make sure you all have your caller or yourself calling a niche specific list at least 2 to 3 times. And it doesn't have to be a driving for dollars list. It can be a niche specific list like pre-foreclosure or the zombie list. I talked about that list late last month about finding the best motivated sellers, the best list to pull from PropStream this month in March 2022. So make sure you all check out that video. In that video, I talk about different niche specific lists that I felt were great to call this month. And also, if you all are driving for dollars, you can use Deal Machine, an app that makes it super easy just to click on specific properties while you're driving, so you don't have to necessarily stop, write down the address. You can just click a button, click like the map area of the house that you want to choose to start targeting, and then from there you can either cold call them, send a text, or send a postcard. So check out Deal Machine down below. All right, the third and final way I want to talk about to increase your lead flow is to follow up, right? Follow up is key in this business, and I learned that over 90% of my deals will come from follow up. Now, I've been pivoting in my business to look more for rental properties, not necessarily wholesale deals. And so I'm okay with not having a seller who's not ready to sell right now, because right now I don't need the cash, right? And another thing is that I understand the process process. I come to this business understanding, okay, if I get a lead this month, it may not close until 4 or 5 months down the road, right? And so I've been seeing an increase of my leads over this past month after I made these changes. After I hired a cold caller, I targeted a niche specific list, and I followed up, follow up. Now, my cold caller, the way he calls, so for example, we have a driving for dollars list that he's calling, and I just have him put them in like 4 buckets, like interested. If there's any sign of motivation, just put it there. I'll handle the rest. Not interested. If they say, no, I'm not interested, do not call me. If they curse you out, if they say, hey, don't call me again, or hung up, right? And so all the interested, I follow up with, right? I can hire maybe someone down the road to like look over my follow-up list, but for right now, I'm still doing that. But a lot of times there are some leads that after I heard like the call recording of my cold caller talking to the seller, I say, oh, this is not a lead. And then I just throw that lead away or move them to another box. But I go over that list and I just follow up with them, and I just see what they want for their house, when they're ready to sell, and the different pillars for motivation in real estate wholesaling that you can apply to all facets of real estate investing. So those were the 3 main ways: hire someone, call a niche specific list, and then follow up. And I'll keep you all updated on how the business is doing, because recently I did make a video about my frustration with wholesale real estate, my ups and my downs, and ways that I can overcome it. And this is one of the ways that I'm overcoming my frustration, right? So let me know down below, what are you doing to overcome these downs in your real estate business, or what specifically are you doing in order to increase your lead flow in your real estate business? I would love to hear it down below. All right, you all, be sure to like this video, subscribe, comment down below, and just stay tuned for some awesome content on this channel. All right, talk to you all later.